This is incredible. Tea Party members have characterized on multiple occasions and in multiple venues President Obama as a monkey. They've hurled racial epithets at civil rights heroes like John Lewis and Emmanuel Cleaver. At a recent rally in Lexington, Daily Kos actually documented Tea Party members selling T-shirts saying that literally said, "Yup, I'm a racist!" exclamation mark, like proud. This is insane. The NAACP is considering how to respond to this. Ben Jealous is with us. He is the president and CEO of the NAACP. Of course, their website, naacp.org. And Ben Jealous, welcome back to our program.
Hey, thank you, Thom. It's good to be back. It's good to be. And you know, last night in my speech to our membership, we responded. We challenged the Tea Party to expel the bigots in their ranks. And that's what any responsible group should do. It's what we would do. It's what our bylaws call for us to do. It's what they should do. Either you expel the bigots in your ranks or you take full responsibility for them. You can't have it both ways.
Now, part of the problem, of course, with suggesting that the Tea Party expel their bigots is that there are at least 5 different people who claim that they're the leaders of the Tea Parties. You've got competing Tea Parties, for-profit, not-for-profit, and then you've got this main organization that was funded by some oil billionaires and is run by Dick Armey behind the scenes. How do you even define exactly what and where the Tea Party is?
Well, you got 6 factions of the Tea Party.
6?
They can all enforce their rule. The Freedom Works, the smallest one, led by Dick Armey. He should start there. You know, it's the same dynamic we have with the old white citizens councils. And by the way, now you have the conservative citizens council, the Council of Conservative Citizens, which is their lineal descendant, supposedly racist organization, says that they're very, very active in the Tea Party. Just like you have Stormfront.com, is they're very active in the Tea Party. Just like you have David Duke out there musing that the Tea Party is going to help make him president. And, the reality is that Dick Armey and Sarah Palin and other folks who have, served the people of this country in government need to stand up and say, we will not tolerate bigots in our ranks. If you are, in, Faction A or Faction B or the movement as a whole, you need to get out. And if you don't get out, we'll throw you out. That's what any responsible organization does, what any responsible movement does. You can have a sergeant at arms, as we all have at our rallies, just move them out of the rally.
Yeah.
But the flip side is to do what the White Citizen Council did, which is to say, we're not the Klan, and the guy talking may not be the Klan, but the guy standing next to him is, and that's the evocative force, a force of intolerance and hatred that brings so many people to the movement.
It's sort of like, the KKK never went away, and of course they actually didn't, but I mean, a large chunk of those people who called themselves Klan members simply reinvented themselves. And in many cases, they reinvented themselves in what looked like, respectable roles and clothing, some of them even within the Republican Party officially itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, David Duke, notorious, Klan leader, went so far as to get plastic surgery and start wearing suits. But the reality is, if you put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it's really a remarkable thing, and I'm seeing this also, and I'd love to get your take on this. We're talking with Ben Jealous, the president and CEO of the NAACP. They're having their convention right now. Jan Brewer, the governor of Arizona, coming out and saying, we've got people being beheaded in the desert. We've got a huge crime problem. When it turns out that the crime in Arizona is lower than it's ever been, and this is not because the law went into effect, because it never did, that there have been no beheadings. She has been lying and fear-mongering. There's been this whole movement in the United States that, over the last couple of years, this anti-immigrant movement, which, frankly, in my opinion, is largely being driven by, oh my God, it's brown people.
Right. Well, there's a tried and true formula for incompetent politicians in Arizona to stay in office. You see it with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. You see now Jan Brewer doing the same thing, which is, look, if you don't know how to do your job well, then you become a fear-mongering racist, and folks, love you. And that's what we're, confronting here. That spirit has to be squashed. Look, if Governor Brewer wants to, stay governor, let her run on the issues. Let her run on policies that work. But don't pit people against each other in your own state.
We're talking with Ben Jealous. Ben, I used to live in Europe, and I've spent a lot of time there. And in Germany, the Germans and the Gastarbeiters, the former guest workers who are from Turkey, who are now 3 and 4 generations in, and many of them German citizens, are coming into conflict. The right-wing parties, we did our show for a week from Denmark. The right-wing parties in Denmark are very anti-immigrant. They have, in France, a lot of Algerians who came there. It was a former U.S. French colony. Racism, it seems, nobody's figured out a way to fix this thing, and it keeps reincarnating itself in the United States as well in all these different forms. Do you have any thoughts on how to go beyond it, or how we as a society can get beyond race and racism itself, beyond just rhetoric?
Well, sure. I mean, in the short term, we've got to get back to a place where the major parties, even the minor parties, the Tea Party in this country, organizations are clear in their common intolerance for racism and hatred.
Yeah.
And we've got to be clear on that. The Republican Party made a deal with the devil back in the early 70s and the late 60s, and
the Southern strategy.
Yes, which should also be called a white supremacist recruitment strategy,
right?
Because there's a lot of good Southerners. They used to live in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yep.
But they were explicitly trying to make home for white supremacists who no longer felt at home in the Democratic Party.
Yep.
And and so we have got to address that phenomenon and deal with it and look, it's fine to fight on the issues. We are not saying abolish the Tea Party. If they want to have a party, there's a First Amendment. But people in this country have to act in a way that's civil and responsible. That's one place to start. Another place to start is, look, we have really got to move this country eventually, beyond race. I mean, the reality is that race is a lie, and racism is a lie built on a lie. We have different ethnicities, we have different cultures, but the idea of race is that you actually have different species of humans.
Yeah, no, there actually isn't a gene for race. There are there are genetic variations for hair and skin and things like that, but they're unique from each other. There is no gene for race. We're all human beings here.
That's exactly right, and that's really, and we have to empower our kids to understand that. I mean, it's funny, man. If you sit in a bar in the UK, you'll see a bunch of guys sitting around talking about the 4 races. And they're talking about the Celts and the Welsh and the Anglo-Saxon.
I know. And they're still fighting, by the way.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there going, dude, you're all white. But the reality at the end of the day is race is an English word for tribe.
Yeah.
And we got to move beyond our tribalism because we're one nation. That's why we at the NAACP and so many other civil rights, religious, and labor organizations are calling for a big march on 10/2/10 in Washington, D.C. under the banner One Nation Working Together. We got to focus on the issues. We got to put Americans back to work. We got to pull America back together. And the forces of hope, and the people of the majority of this country, got to stand up, be counted, be recognized, be in Washington on 10/2/10, and be at the ballot box on 11/2/10.
What do you think, Ben Jealous, President CEO of the NAACP, NAACP.org, about harnessing that, frankly, I think probably natural human tendency to be tribal, and rather than focusing it on things like race, these micro things, expand it out and embrace it and say, yes, we're all part of the same tribe, and that tribe is called citizens of the United States of America?
No, that's exactly right. I mean, look, we need to have compulsory national service in this country.
Agreed.
Not the draft. We need to have compulsory national service. It is a crime that we have kids turn down. Many of our national youth service programs under the AmeriCorps umbrella turn down more than 90% of the applicants.
Because they don't have the funding?
Because they don't have the funding.
Oh, my God.
Kids in our country want to be part of this country. They want to have the experience of working shoulder to shoulder with people who grew up on the other side of the tracks, people who went to a public school and they went to a private school, people from a different region of the country who don't talk like them, don't dress like them. They want to belong to this country and feel fully empowered as citizens. And we've got to give them that opportunity. The sad thing is that the military is the only way to get that experience. And look, a lot of my family is in the military, and it's a beautiful thing, but kids need to have a full range of opportunities.
Right. Yeah.
So quite frankly, if we do that, then we would be more conservative, small c, in our foreign policy as well.
Oh, absolutely. In Germany, they have a national draft. You can choose either the Army or working for a nonprofit organization. It's a great rite of passage. And not only that, after you do that, in exchange for that year of service, you get a free college education.
Well, no, they have it in France, they have it in Turkey, they have it in the state of Israel. I mean, it's what nations do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an investment in our future and our kids, and it's something that we absolutely need. Ben Jealous, brilliant guy, head of the NAACP, CEO and president of the NAACP, NAACP.org, the website, and check it out for the march on 10/2, you said?
10/2/10, yep.
October 2nd. Check it out in D.C. Ben Jealous, thanks so much for being back with us, sir.
All right, thanks, Thom.
Great talking with you.